Listen only to the sound of my voice. Let your mind relax. Let your thoughts drift. Imagine yourself in a frozen forest.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Black Ops 3 realistic difficulty video walkthrough. This is mission 11. This is the final, penultimate part of it. It's entitled Life, and that is the very thing that is on the line as we get rushed by these crazy murder of crow people, or unkindness of ravens, if they're ravens, which I love that. Unkindness is the plural for raven, for essentially for saying a flock of something. And there's some really cool words to say a flock of something, but you rarely get a chance to say it. When will you ever say an unkindness of ravens unless you're really trying to say it? You just wouldn't. But I'm glad I got the chance to. Same with owls. A collection of owls is called a parliament. A parliament of owls. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever heard? A parliament of owls. Like, I don't even like parliament. It's generally all the assholes who get paid far too much to decide the things that happen in my country and oppress thousands and thousands of people, and they do it all behind, you know, 7-figure bonuses, and then they go on to say how families should be running their life on their income, and they have absolutely no idea how to live on low income because they don't, and they never will, and they never have. So how the hell can you tell somebody how to live when you spend more money on your tip at a restaurant than some people spend on food in a week? So I'm not a fan of Parliament. I'm more of a fan of Guy Fawkes, which is quite a controversial position to be in.
Imagine yourself.
But it's a cool word, isn't it? I like it as the language of it. The meaning has been warped and turned into something stupid, but when used with owls, I'm behind it 100%. This section here is kind of tricky. You have a lot of glare from the sun. You have a lot of enemies all over the shop, and the checkpoint is horrendous. It's before the wall started opening at the very beginning of this video, and the only thing I disagree with here, I don't disagree with having enemies everywhere and it being really tense and not knowing where the threats are and, you know, being really tentative. That's called the hardest difficulty, that's what you do. It's when you get this area cleared, and I say that rather vaguely, and you push towards the objective marker and 2 enemies spawn in front of you, there is no cover whatsoever, and before you have chance to react and turn around and run away, you're immediately dead. And then the checkpoint wasn't as you pushed onto the bridge where you got that cheesy spawn, it was before you even started the fight 5 minutes ago. That's where I draw a line, that's where I get a little irritated, and that's where the normal player's going to get a little frustrated. So I'm going to take this a little slow, and the only threat here is people behind you, and it will happen. It happens to me twice. I see Taylor shooting at people behind me, and I'm like, what are you doing, Taylor? And lo and behold, there's some dude in cover who's not paying attention, and he somehow didn't kill me. So the biggest threat here is getting flanked by retarded AI, and of course pushing this next checkpoint, which is an ugly checkpoint because it's dishonest as hell. But there's great music here. Visually it's rather stunning, and you are getting a lot of exposition, and you are pushing towards what feels like quite an epic resolution. Whether or not you feel that it is once you get there is entirely up to you. But do you notice how it seems like it's clear? It's not. There's 3 or 4 dudes to my left all the way behind me, and you wouldn't think it, but I'm so terrified here to push this next waypoint that I'm going to be doing things like this, coming into a little alcove that's probably a spawn point, and look, there's an enemy just there. What is that person doing? They're not shooting at me, they're not engaging me, they're just sitting over there. And I'm trying to get my lock on him, but the distance is way too far, and it's that moment of, if I ignore this person, they'll probably come and bite me in the back. But if I push forward to him, maybe he'll kill me, and then I have to do all this again. So you're in that interesting catch-22 of, if I go up here, I could die, but if I go over there, I could die. So, see what I mean? And then there's more. Like, where was that person? No one makes any noise, even though they're all running around in military-issue boots on tiles, and not a thing, didn't hear a thing. Too busy listening to an orchestra off screen, going nuts. So I wait here a little longer than I perhaps should have, but at the time I was really wanting to just get to this next checkpoint, and I died here a couple times, and I got to the point where I really wasn't enjoying the checkpoint too much. Which, I think the universal drinking game on any of my videos will be, every time I say checkpoint, take a shot. You might die, so please don't. But see that? That's the spawn I mentioned. How douchey was that? When you know it's coming, you're okay. But if you don't, what do? That is literally a beginner trap, and it's a word that I don't really use too much because games are beginner's traps. You have to learn through playing to understand how to win. That's the point of a game. The trial and error is the gameplay. You try things, if it works, it's called a strategy. If it doesn't work, it's a fail, and you try something else. That is the path of a normal video game. However, there are some individuals, DSP, who think that that is some way a bad thing, and accuse almost any section that they have issue with of being that, just because they didn't do it the first time. And I don't understand a mentality that thinks they're going to do everything first time when they don't know even what it is they're meant to be doing. You don't walk into a language class expecting to be fluent before you've learnt the language. It seems like a very counterintuitive way of looking at the world. But right now there are still a couple of people alive, and I'm really, really annoyed that the checkpoint isn't a bit more ubiquitous. If they were everywhere I wouldn't care, but they're not, so I have to be very, very afraid here. But buildings are dropping, so surely that means that there's checkpoints, right? Checkpoint, 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 checkpoint. You just died. But keep on pushing on, and there's going to be another spawn of enemies here, and everything from this point onwards is pretty simple. The room we just did is the trickiest part of this sand area, of this particular dune.
The trees around you so tall.
So what is going to be happening with the channel, you're probably wondering, as we come to our closing moments of this video. And I say closing moments, there's 14 minutes left, but it is the end, believe it or not. Fallout 4 is a big game, and judging by the way I'm playing it, which is the way I've played every Fallout game, it's going to take me a while to beat it. And that is not a bad thing, because I think that Fallout is a great experience, and if you're willing to share it, you're going to have a lot of videos for a long time. So it's going to be a constant on the channel. Rise of the Tomb Raider is probably going to get a bit of an emphasis, depending on when I get it. I still don't have it, and it comes out in a day, 2 days. It's already out in America, which means I've already fundamentally failed the YouTube race, so there's no way I'm going to be anywhere in the search engine, which is a shame, but what can you do? But I'm going to be covering it because it does have a hardest difficulty, and we'll see how hard that is. I'm hoping it's batshit insane and everyone's terrified of it, but I don't think it will be. I just don't think it will be at all. Once that is covered, there is going to be the Witcher 3 DLC, along with Fallout, and then there's going to be... You see that? How bad was that? That is not how a spawn should ever work, dude. Let alone when it's one bullet kill. That is egregiously bad. And I really do, you know, if I become a millionaire somehow, you know, I create something, not on purpose, of course, I can't create anything. I'm asleep in bed, and I wake up, bang my head, something falls off a drawer, hit something else, something lands in my coffee, and I invent the cure for cancer. And all these pharmaceutical companies want to give me bazillions of dollars so that they can have the rights for it and never use it, so they can keep selling you medication that you don't need because they've got a cure, but they'll never tell you that because it's much more feasible to get money from us by curing things rather than by treating things rather than curing things. No money in a cure, guys. All the money in the treating. Even if it's a placebo, you just keep on giving dead dollars. But get all the cynicism away from that and all the silliness. I get a ton of money somehow. Do you know what I'm going to do? As retarded as this is, you should never do things like this. It's just me being anal. Outside of all the other things I'm going to do, I'm going to get a dev who made a good difficulty to beat the difficulty they made. And I'm going to sit with them, I'm going to be there the entire time, and I'm either going to film it, stream it, or have an audience of it. Something like that. Because I'm a bazillionaire, I can do what I want. I'm Bill Gates 2.0. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know what game it is, I don't know what difficulty it is, I don't know how long it'll be. I could be 65, who knows. It might never happen, it could be in a future life where I'm somebody else. But that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to be so delicious just to see them go from being this optimistic, I made the game, I should be good at the game, to, oh my god, what the hell have I got myself into? And if it was all a simulation, because I'm so rich I created a Matrix and we can do things in the Matrix that people think is real, but it's not actually real, what I would do, right? I'd have his entire family held at gunpoint to something horrible. Truly, truly, truly despicable. And if he failed, they'd be executed in front of him. But these family are really in on this, and it's all one big candid camera joke, because it's not actually mean or evil, it's just incredibly mean and evil in a simulation. And that's what I do. I would literally, I'd have Jigsaw turn up, do his, I want to play a game thing and all that kind of stuff. So many people so ungrateful to be alive, or whatever he does. And if he doesn't do it, somebody gets it. Just to see the desperation, and just to see how he feels. Because I just don't think the people who make these difficulties can beat them. And you know when they say, oh, only one of our games testers was able to beat it? Don't you think you should get better games testers then? The whole point is for you to test the full game. If 99% of your games testers couldn't test the full game on realistic, what the hell are they being paid to do? You know? Are they the people checking the grammar on the other testers' writing? Like, what the fuck? I hate that. I've always hated that when they're like, oh, our games testers couldn't even beat it. Well, sack them. Get better games testers. I don't care if she makes a mean cup of coffee. If she can't play the game, why is she there? And then you realise you do need a whole gradation of different type of players to do a game, because everybody thinks differently. And you need somebody who is below the average skill level of the normal gamer, which is to say, they'll probably put the disc in the wrong way. And that's not a problem, because it's just ignorance, guys, and it's ignorance can be cured with knowledge. But you need that person to get that results that the other people won't give you. You give this game to Scumpy, and you ask him how the campaign feels, he probably wouldn't be able to fucking tell you because he's too busy being a beast on the multiplayer. You wouldn't get Scumpy to do the campaign stuff because it's not what he's amazing at, so he'd probably have a really tough time with realistic, because his gun skill's amazing, but he's also playing the mind games of COD. He's used to all the stuff that goes through the other player's head. He's used to competing against a human, not against AI that cheats. Humans can't cheat. Well, technically they can, but they can't if it's all, done properly. So the only thing they can do is beat you by knowing how to beat you, by using your habits against you. The only habit the computer has is being consistently douchey. So you wouldn't want... I don't think he would be the person to do that. And conversely, you wouldn't want somebody really good at single player doing the multiplayer. In this ideal situation. But when it comes to testing, you need everybody. You need every perspective. You need the person who is not going to do the thing that every gamer knows to do. If you think about it, DSP would be a great games tester. Because he would have pages and pages and pages of shit that people are like, is this guy fucking drunk? You press up on the D-pad. This is not a problem. This is you being a moron. And they go, next page. This was bad. This was bad. This was crap. This was crap. Are you serious, dude? Are you serious? We're very serious. This is your job. You should be serious. He was blocking. There's not even a block button in this game. Online combos. You're not even online. Everything in his thing would be just like, come on, can we fire this guy? No, we need him. We need this guy to give us these completely preposterous things, and we can look at it and say, yeah, he's an idiot. Or we can say, no, that's a legitimate issue. But you need that. You need all kinds of it. You need all kinds of things. You truly do. And that's how you make a great game. And any game that's not tested is going to have a tough time in today's gaming culture. And it happens more than you would think. And it's not like movies. Movies think it's like games. Movies and games, very, very different, even though we use them for these arbitrary contrasts. Black Ops 3 had more money in its first day than... What was that film? Jurassic World! Because Jurassic World broke a load of records, so it's the new thing to poke, comparisons to. How can you compare a game to a film when you're speaking about value for money or money earned? It really seems kind of strange to me, because it doesn't translate. The experience you have in a game is driven by you. The experience you have from a film is driven by the director and the actors and everybody who worked on it. The film will always be the same. Every time. Never changes, guys. You're never going to get that moment where they have the sex scene out of nowhere, or they die prematurely before they get to do the thing they're meant to do in the film. That is never going to happen. This is not a Goosebumps book where you pick your adventure. This is not what it is. In a game, that might happen. There might be several circumstances where that happens a lot. The hero dies on the first level because you're controlling him and you're not a god. That shit happens. There's no apotheosis. It's just you playing a game and unfortunately you landed on a grenade. So the contrast between films always sounds really strange. But additionally, a focus group for a film is kind of different to the focus group to a game, even though they do have some similarities, but I don't think it's anywhere near as damaging. A focus group for a game is just Q&A. It's the people putting the time in to make sure the game is better, because I like to feel, even though I don't know for certain, that the people working on it have enough integrity to say, I appreciate that this is getting a lot of criticism, but it's a design. It's not a flaw. It's not a bug. It is the way we want it to be. And you might not like it, but just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. You know, it's just not for you. Whereas in a film, if a bunch of people say they don't like this, they don't have the integrity to do that, because a lot of these focus groups are done by the people who gave them the money to make the film. And all these people want is fucking PG so the widest audience can watch it, and they don't care how it ends, if it makes sense, if it's entertaining, if it's got integrity or credibility. They just want it to make money. And the easiest way to make money is to make it the most homunculi, mongoloid, amorphously unoffensive bullshit imaginable. And I don't think you can do that with a game, because it doesn't work. There is way too much competition, and people are spending way too long banging on it for it not to commit to what it is. So testing and the focus group mentality benefits a game. But I think it really hurts films, and I think it will always hurt films, because films aren't meant to be appreciated by everybody. A game can be appreciated by everybody in certain ways. For instance, this. Somebody might hate the multiplayer, but they might like zombies. They might hate zombies and multiplayer, but they might really like co-op campaign. You know, somebody might like, I don't know, the menu game. Might love loading screens, but they hate the gameplay. There is something in this game for a majority of people to like, and even if they hate Call of Duty, there'll be something that they can perhaps get a moment of joy or bliss from. Films, not so much. Although you can argue that everybody can like a certain film, films are almost personal, because they are unchanged. They don't change. You can't change them to benefit you. You can't change them to make it better for you. So all you're going to have is whatever it is and your feelings towards it. And the only thing that changes is not the film, it's your interpretation of the film and your appreciation of it. And there are some films you just can't appreciate because it's not for you. It's not made for you. You know, you're not the audience, and it doesn't resonate at all. It's disharmonious, and it conflicts with what you enjoy. And there are a lot of films like that. A very famous one for me is The Godfather. Everybody says The Godfather is one of the best films ever made. It's absolutely sacrilegious to say otherwise. It's got all these massive actors in it. It's got, you know, a great director. It is legendary for everything that is great in Hollywood, and it is the esteem that it is eternally held to. And I think it is absolutely fucking dull. I hate The Godfather. And that opinion has got me into more debates, more arguments, more moments of just like head scratching, what the hell, how can somebody not like The Godfather? I just never did. I watched it when I was really young, and I thought it was boring and shitty. I watched it when I was much older, and I still found it boring and shitty. And it comes back to the same thing. I do not give a single shit about mafia. I don't care about Italians, I don't care about greasy hair or pizzas or any of the stereotypes or doing favours for the family or living in Sicily. I just don't give a shit. To me, it's boring. It's dull. It's too much for me. I never liked it. I didn't watch The Sopranos. I don't like playing games that are like that. I think one of the main reasons why I'm bored of Grand Theft Auto and don't much like it anymore is because all it is trying to be The Godfather or Scarface all the time, even though I really like Scarface, which is a weird one because apparently Scarface is a piece of shit to most of my friends. But I've never been interested in it. I'm just not interested in that at all. And that's me personally. Do I think that Godfather is a bad film? No. I think the film itself is done so many great things in so many different ways, and there are moments of it that you can really say, wow, that stands out as something great. But for me, I think it's boring. Never liked it. Does it mean the acting's bad? No, the acting's great. Does it mean the story's bad? No. That was probably one of the first ever mafia stories ever told. But if you're going to ask me, Chris, to watch, like, what's it called? The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, or Godfather? And I'm picking Clint every day, because I like westerns, and I like that film. It doesn't matter if it's like 5 hours long. I'm going to pick that. And it's just that thing, you know? Some people don't like The Godfather. It's bizarre, I know. I've been told many times, but I don't. But you know a film I do like? Love Guru. How does that make any sense? The thing is a disgrace. But I think it's funny. It tickles all the right places, even though it's a horrible film. So, if you take anything away from this video, it's that Godfather bad, White Chicks good. I'm only playing, guys. But no, I'm 100% serious about Godfather. It's not my film. I absolutely respect what it did for the industry, and I absolutely respect that people adore that film. I find it boring. Always have, always will. I'm a Scarface guy. Always have been. Now, if Godfather had 80s music, might be a little different. But instead it's got all that dreary saxophone bullshit and that weird noise all the time. But this is the end of the game, folks. Now we've done those sections. Now we've truly analysed the qualities of The Godfather. And there is no boss, thankfully. We've already done the boss. The boss was the first part of this mission. And then from here on, there's going to be a section where you walk out of this area with the White Rabbit song playing, but I've taken it out for copyright reasons. And that is the end of the game, guys. That is your 2,500 for completing Unrealistic and your 5,000 for the other difficulties. And I don't know if it's going to show the achievement popping, because I can't remember if I did that. I was playing this offline, so I wasn't getting the notifications popping, so it might not happen. No, it didn't. Sorry about that. But if you don't think that that was unrealistic, you haven't really played Realistic to understand it. So Fallout 4, Tomb Raider, Bloodborne DLC, and then the Witcher 3 DLC, and then the channel will go back to normal with the things that were happening. I hope these videos help, I truly do. And I hope you found something from them, even if it was just, I don't know, entertainment or boredom or whatever. Just as long as it stimulated a part of your brain, be it through hate, be it through love, be it through just complete bafflement that somebody can't appreciate the mafioso masterpiece that is The Godfather. Which, you watch, guys, in 5 or 10 years I'm going to watch that film and it's going to transform my life, and I'm going to come back with my tail between my legs and be like, oh, I can't believe I said these things. But until that moment, boo. And I love Al Pacino, and I love Robert De Niro. Great actors. But thank you for watching. You take care now.